Here's the thread I'm introducing this time. Tell us about the disappointments you've experienced after moving into a nursing home. In this thread, 2ch users discuss the pitfalls they've noticed after moving into a nursing home. If you're considering moving into a nursing home or planning a move, please read on. Here we go. I wonder what nursing homes are really like. I'm 55, but I think it's about time I did some serious research. Are there things you notice after you move in?
I heard that a friend's parent moved in recently, and they said it wasn't what they expected. I'm
curious too. When you go to visit, it looks really nice, but the real fun starts once you start living there. I've visited a facility myself. The lobby is spacious, the staff are smiling, and I thought I'd feel safe there, but deep down I had doubts. After all, pamphlets and tours only show the good parts. I'm sure the reality is different. My colleague's mother also moved in, and she apparently said she wished she had looked into it sooner. There are a lot of things you only find out after you move in. It's
scary to stay at home. It's common to see on the news that people collapse and aren't found for days. When you think about it that way, a facility seems safer. But I think there are things you lose in exchange for peace of mind. Things like freedom and how to interact with people.
In the end, many people would rather be in their own homes. But honestly, for the families who are providing care, it's more reassuring to have someone in a facility.
In the end, we have no choice but to listen to the voices of those who have experienced it. That's because the most realistic thing is to hear what people who have actually lived there felt. That's
true. There's no point in speculating here. I want to hear the real voices of people who have actually lived there. I was in a nursing home until last year, but the thing I felt most was not a sense of security, but loneliness. Is loneliness really a thing? Your family feels secure, and there are staff, right? I
thought I would feel less lonely. But the reality was different. At first, my children would come over frequently, and they would drop by on weekends and eat together. But within 3 months, I got busy with work. Then again, I only kept in touch, and the number of visits increased dramatically. That's a common occurrence. At first, they do care about you, but once they realize you're safe, they gradually become more distant.
What about the phone? They
do call, but the conversations are short. How are you? Is there anything you need? That's it. It's like checking in on you. There's hardly any emotional interaction there.
That must be tough. For the family, they put you in there to reassure them, but for the person themselves, it just makes them feel more lonely. An old lady I know said the same thing. They were told by their family that you'll be safe because you're in a facility, so they suddenly opened up. What about inside the facility? Aren't they with the other residents? That's harder than you might think. Groups have already formed, and there's no room for someone like Shinyama to join in. I eat alone in the cafeteria every day. I can hear laughter, but I can't join in. I
thought we'd be able to make friends right away because it's all different ages, but that's not the reality.
When I visited, they told me there would be recreational activities, but whether or not I participate is another matter. If you're not in the mood, you'll feel lonely. And if the person you're talking to has dementia, you can't even have a conversation. This is also surprisingly tough. They ask the same questions over and over again, and suddenly start yelling at you. I know they don't mean any harm, but they're not someone you can open up to and talk to. In the end, it's a contradictory environment where you're surrounded by people, yet lonely. It's ironic that you're seeking security only to be forced into loneliness. What
surprised me when I moved in was that the rhythm of life is completely set. What do you mean? You can't eat or take a bath whenever you want. That's right, breakfast is at 7 o'clock sharp, lunch is at 12 o'clock, and dinner is at 6 o'clock. What's that? Is this school lunch? Even though you're an adult, you don't have any freedom. An
acquaintance of mine said the same thing. He said that he wanted to eat later in the morning, but it's hard to have to gather in the cafeteria at 7 o'clock. It's surprisingly stressful not being able to eat at your own pace. There are probably days when you don't have an appetite, and apparently if you're late, people around you will look at you like, wondering what's wrong with you. There's no choice in what to eat either. Even if it doesn't suit your physical condition that day, they'll just give you the same set menu. So the
security of having everything prepared for you comes with the inconvenience of not being able to choose.
Going out will also be restricted. I heard that you can't come and go as you please. That's right. You have to report when you go out. You can't come home until 7 p.m. I feel like a student who has gone back to being a student with a gate. What if you have to take longer than 7 p.m.? You can contact the staff, but they'll give you a dirty look. There aren't many people around at night. That's the reason. I understand that it's for safety. But when your freedom is restricted, it gradually becomes more restrictive. Apparently, my father got into a fight at the gate of the facility on his way home from his grandchild's birthday party. He was told he came home late. You don't even have freedom in your room. You can't bring in any furniture or things. Everything is dismissed as dangerous. You
can't even put away furniture and mementos that you've used for years. Dangerous is a convenient word. In the end, they just want to standardize it so it's easier to manage.
A room that you can't change the decorations of doesn't feel like your own home. I remember an
old lady I know who wanted to hang pictures of her grandchildren on the wall, but she was told, art is prohibited, and started crying. That's
tough. Are memories taken away in exchange for peace of mind?
I was a resident until recently, but I moved out due to a lot of unexpected expenses.
What were the unexpected expenses? When I
saw my first bill after moving in, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was more than 20,000 yen more than the monthly fee listed in the pamphlet.
Huh? Why? Doesn't the monthly fee include meals and nursing care?
That was the trap. What's written in the pamphlet is just the basics, and in reality there are a ton of additional costs. What are some examples of additional costs? The easiest to understand is the event board. There are events like tea parties, music concerts, setsubin, and cherry blossom viewing. If you don't participate, the staff will suggest things to you since you're taking the time to do them, but they all cost 2,000 or 3,000 yen per event, and some are close to 10,000 yen. They charge that much for events? I wouldn't participate if I were them.
I had the exact same experience. It's the kind of atmosphere where it's hard to say no. In the end, most people go. So if you're the only one who says no, you'll feel isolated. So you have no choice but to pay. It adds up to tens of thousands of yen every month. My mother said the same thing. It's voluntary to participate. They say it's not really voluntary. In the end, you don't get the benefits because of the people around you. Still, the difference of tens of thousands of yen a month is huge. It's too tough for someone living on a pension. It's not just events, right? What other extras are there?
For example, shopping assistance. If you ask for small daily necessities, it costs 500 to 1,000 yen per visit. The
same goes for 3 shots. Since you can't go outside, you get your hair cut in the facility, but that's an extra charge.
Additional bathing and nighttime toileting assistants aren't included as standard, and they're all optional. It's like an additional service at a hotel. They make the basic fee look cheap and make money off of the extras. But in a nursing home, you have no choice but to ask for them out of necessity. You can't just say, I don't use it, so it's fine.
I heard that the cost goes up even more as the level of care increases, but is that true?
At first, I was considered independent and it was cheap. But as soon as I got a little sick and switched from daycare to nursing care, the monthly cost nearly doubled. What's more, the notification is just a single sheet of paper, and it says that this amount will be charged from next month. There's nothing you can do about it once you've joined. It's not easy to leave either. My
father was like that. When he became a monster, his monthly expenses increased by 50,000 yen. He had been barely making ends meet up until then, but now he's suddenly in the red.
I asked in the contract what other costs would be incurred, and he said that the basics needed for living were included, so I felt reassured. But in reality, the scope of the basics is narrow.
When I visited, I was relieved to hear that there would be snack time, but when I found out later, snacks on the special menu were an additional charge.
Every time I get a bill, I scratch my head because it keeps increasing. I joined to live in peace, but the billing envelopes are the most stressful. What's more, the additional costs increase every year, and the number of events also increases. As your physical strength decreases, you use more services. That's why the initial estimate is completely meaningless.
My father was the same. At first, he was relieved when he was told that his pension would cover it, but as soon as his level of care increased, he ended up in the red by over 200,000 yen. A
deficit of 100,000 yen is bad. Of course, even if you have savings, it won't last for years. It's
mentally tough to use up your savings. It's really anxiety-inducing to live while calculating how long it will last. An
acquaintance of mine ended up having to ask someone to send their child to them. He said he didn't want to be a bother. But that wasn't the reality. It must be tough for the child who is being asked to do it. It must be really hard to have to pay for your parents' facility fees when you have your own family and mortgage to pay for. When I visited the facility before moving in, all the staff were smiling and showed me around very politely, but that wasn't the case after I moved in. When I visited the facility with my mother, I felt relieved because the atmosphere was bright. But she said it was different once she moved in. It was a little different. They were polite for the first few days, but gradually their response became more businesslike. They just called out your name and said, "It's time for your bath. Please move to the dining room." Quote. There was no conversation. My father said the same thing. He said that at first, he thought everyone was kind, but they were busy and their smiles disappeared, and they treated him like an assembly line worker. My auntie said that she feels very safe with one staff member, but is treated roughly by another. It's common for things to be completely different depending on the person in charge. I'm also in pain because of that. Some support my waist and slowly stand me up, while others just pull my arms hard. To be honest, it's scary sometimes, and the fact that I occasionally see cases of violence by caregivers makes it even scarier. In the end, it all depends on the personality of the staff member. Veteran staff are relaxed, but new staff are flustered and end up making me even more anxious. And it's even harder at night. There aren't enough staff, so they can't come right away even if you call. I once had to wait more than 10 minutes after they said, "I'm on my way," over the intercom.
I once had chest pains and called the intercom. They answered, but it took a long time for them to come. I was extremely anxious the whole time. It's
scary when your life is at stake. I wish they would increase the number of people working night shifts, but I guess that's not so easy in reality.
We're human, so we're not perfect. I understand that they're busy. But for the users, the sense of security in their lives changes drastically depending on who is in charge that day. If you get the
right person, your day is fun. If you don't, your mood drops instantly. It's tough when every day is like a lottery. The thing that's been the most disappointing since I moved in is recreation time. It's not as fun as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I get it. There are plans for singing time and game tournaments on the calendar, but to be honest, I don't feel like doing any of them.
What kind of singing time is it?
Like everyone singing Showa-era songs together. But I'm not good at singing, and all I did was listen to the songs I didn't know.
My mother said the same thing. She said, "Today is karaoke," and was handed the microphone, but she was at an age where it was hard to sing, so she went home and felt miserable. Recreation is for energetic people. People who can't move their bodies end up just sitting in a chair and watching. The facility cares about the fact that you participated, and whether or not you're having fun is secondary. I once participated in a bingo tournament, but only a few people were excited, and most of the people seemed to want it to end quickly.
So I just looked outside. When I see families walking outside the window or people walking their dogs, I get the feeling that I'm cut off from society.
My uncle said the same thing. He said that the hardest part is watching people outside go about their daily lives through the glass. The facility may be safe, but the more distance you have from the outside world, the more lonely you become.
What's more, your daily schedule is decided by the facility, so there's no room to make your own fun. That's the hardest part.
In the end, unless you come up with your own ideas, you won't be able to find meaning in life. It's a fantasy to think that just being in a facility will naturally make you feel fulfilled.
I manage to keep my spirits up by reading the newspaper and writing in my diary every day. An
acquaintance of mine said that he brings things like sightseeing and enjoys himself by himself. He advised me not to rely on the things the facility provides. Honestly, if you only look at the pamphlets and visit, you'll only see the good parts. That's why a trial stay is important. If you stay for a few days, you'll get a feel for the food, the atmosphere, and how the staff treats you.
Is it actually possible to do a trial stay? This is the first time I've heard of such a system.
Some facilities have plans where you can actually live there for a few days to a week.
My dad did that too. The person in charge suggested that he try it out. Thanks to that, he got to know the actual meals and atmosphere at night beforehand.
I decided that this place wasn't for me after the experience. The rules were too detailed and it felt restrictive. I see. Even if you only spend a few days there, you'll be able to tell for sure whether you can manage there. If it doesn't feel right, you can just quit.
There are actually other options besides nursing homes. Have you ever heard of serviced housing for the elderly? Is it a type of
Housing? What is that? You can.
live like in a regular apartment and receive services only when you need them?
Huh, there's such a system? It seems like there's a lot of freedom.
Speaking of freedom, there's also in-home care. If you combine it with home care and visits, you can receive a lot of support while staying at home. You meet people who don't want to leave the house where they have fond memories. My
Dad chose that. He can continue to socialize with his neighbors, and he feels more at home. Another thing that's been increasing recently is small-scale functional home care. Yes, you can flexibly use visiting and overnight stays. Like going to the facility today and staying home tomorrow. That's
convenient. It's good that you can adjust to your physical condition and mood without being tied down to a fixed facility.
In the end, there are many options other than nursing homes. What's important is which one suits you.
The answer will differ depending on whether you prioritize security, freedom, or valuing the distance from your family. When
I hear this, I realize that many people are troubled by the gap between security and reality in nursing homes rather than security. There are also feelings of loneliness and financial burdens, and there are many things you won't know until you move in. You can gain security, but you can't automatically gain a sense of purpose. In the end, it all comes down to whether or not you're going to find yourself. You have no choice but to research other options and make a decision that you're satisfied with.
nursing homes come to everyone. That's why you should think about how you want to go from an early stage. Security is important, but so is freedom and connections. There's
More than one answer, so choose the way that suits you. That's the only way to avoid regrets. The time has come for us to start preparing for nursing homes. Let me present each of our plans. I'm 51 years old and single, but I've been really worried about old age lately. I'm scared that if I live alone, I won't have anyone to help me if something happens. My family consists of just my mother and I, but if she were to collapse, I think I'd have to pay for it all at once. I quit my job to care for my parents and couldn't go back to work, which is where I am now. I quit my job.
to care for my parents, but that was before the system was in place, so I didn't get much retirement benefits. I have
About 9 million yen in savings, but I doubt it will last me 10 years even if I retire at 60. Life in old age costs more money than you might think.
How am I supposed to live on a pension of 100,000 yen? My
Personal pension and combined pension make up 125,000 yen. Even then, I can't afford it.
Last year, I was hospitalized for an emergency absence, but the receptionist asked me to write down the name and contact information of a guarantor. I don't have any family left, so I ended up bowing down to a colleague at work and asking him to do it. They
Said I couldn't go ahead with the surgery unless I got that. When I was hospitalized for pneumonia, I told them I had no relatives, and they referred me to an insurance company. I heard that insurance companies require a membership fee and a monthly fee, so it can be quite expensive. That's
Right. I ended up asking an old classmate to sign the documents. It's
helpful that it doesn't have to be a family member, but at my age, there's no one I can ask. It's
tough being in a hospital room all by myself when you get sick.
I don't have anyone to visit me while I'm in the hospital either. I'm prepared for that reality. I'm also looking into identity guarantor services in preparation for future hospitalizations. Identity guarantor services are services that act as guarantors in place of family or relatives when a guarantor is needed, such as when someone is admitted to a hospital, moved into a facility, or when signing a rental contract. They are especially used by elderly people with no relatives or people who are estranged from their families when it's difficult to find an identity guarantor. There are some places that even cover funeral and post-death procedures, but apparently it costs 400,000 yen for a 10-year contract. If you're single, you're still afraid of loneliness specialists. You
Should definitely look into home delivery services with monitoring services or services for the elderly.
using a daycare service even just once a week might help prevent loneliness. I'm
Considering a bento delivery service, but if I order it every day, it'll cost over 60,000 yen a month.
How's the taste? The
Taste isn't bad, but the quantity isn't enough. Also, the delivery time is too early. It's 11 o'clock in the afternoon or 27:00 at night, so it doesn't fit my lifestyle. My
expenses this month exceeded 200,000 yen. I'm single, so why is it costing so much?
I keep it under 150,000 yen a month. Rent is 50,000 yen. Food is 40,000 yen. Communication is 10,000 yen. And utility bills are around 15,000 yen. I'm only
planning to receive a pension of 100,000 yen a month, so I'm calculating that I'll be in the red by 20,000 yen every month.
After I retire, I'll have a pension of 100,000 yen and a monthly pension of 30,000 yen. but if I get sick, it won't be enough right away. My current rent is a problem. I'm wondering if I should move to a larger property that costs 50,000 yen a month instead of 90,000 yen a month. Even if I own my own house, renovations can cost 20 million yen or so. So either way, I can't avoid losing money.
I didn't get any retirement benefits. I left my job to care for my family, so I wasn't eligible for the system and I cried. Are you?
Interested in investing? I have NIS, but it's too unstable to increase. I'm
Saving NIS and holding stocks for the long term, aiming for dividends, but
I've barely surpassed 20 million in my savings in Yoke Stone and Mizu, but I'm worried. That's still a lot. I barely have 10 million now. I read somewhere that if you reach 30 million by the time you're 60, you'll be safe, but that's impossible. I'm
saving 30,000 yen a month in NIS, but my enthusiasm decreases every time my assets fluctuate. Living off dividends is a dream, but even if I invest 30 million and get an annual interest rate of 3%, it only makes 75,000 yen a month, and dividends are subject to tax. Even with my pension, it's tough to live on just over 150,000 yen. I have no choice but to save. I cook for myself and keep each serving under 100 yen. My diet consists of natto, tofu, and bean sprouts. If I spend money on food, I won't survive into old age.
I secure rice and vegetables through my retirement income and taxes, but I'm worried that the accuracy may change next year. Sometimes it crosses my mind that I have no choice but to rely on welfare. My
pension alone is definitely not enough, but there are many people who can't bring themselves to apply for welfare.
There are prejudices too, but I've come to accept that as long as it's a system, I should use it when I need it. If I absolutely can't do it, I'll choose welfare and be prepared for that. Money determines all options for old people. The
other day I slipped and fell in the bathtub and hurt my right foot every day for a week.
At my age, it's not just someone else's problem.
Even if I don't break a bone, if I hurt my joints, it's an age where I'll have to stop writing. I
renovated my house, but it cost me quite a bit. I spent almost 300,000 yen on handrails and anti-slip pads. But if I skimp on things like that, I'll end up revealing it later. Since my parents passed away and I've been living alone, the TV has started to sound unusually loud.
I feel the same way. It's been 5 years since my mother passed away, but I still haven't gotten used to it.
House is really quiet after you've been living alone. I can hear the ticking of the clock and the sound of the wind. When I
go days without talking to anyone, I feel like I've forgotten how to speak. Recently, I almost cried after going to a convenience store to say thank you. I'm having trouble with the Buddhist altar. I plan to close it down next time I have to leave, but I feel reluctant. Managing a Buddhist altar and grave can be really tough when you're alone.
My family home is in the countryside, but it's completely abandoned. It's
also abandoned, and only the water and electricity are still under contract. I go there once a month to clean it, but no one lives there, so I'm not sure what to do. Isn't there an option to live there? I could move
back, but it would be tough in an environment with no internet or convenience stores. I'm not going back, so I'm continuing to live in a shabby apartment in Tokyo. Where you live is really important.
As you get older, your means of transportation become limited, and just having a supermarket, hospital, and insurance makes all the difference between a place and a place.
Do people who have abandoned homes not give them up? They probably just keep them for now because they wouldn't get much money if they sold them, and they're not really in financial trouble. As for my parents' house, the used property is worth about 17 million yen, so I wouldn't get much money if I sold it. And if I sold my current house in Tokyo, I would have enough money to live comfortably, so I'm keeping it in case I lose my job and move back. It holds a lot of memories, and there are
no buyers in the countryside. If I sell it, I might be able to find a buyer, but I don't know when I want to buy it. I guess I'll consult my fortune teller right now. I plan to retire at 60, but if I get close to that age and have enough money to buy an apartment and make ends meet, I'll probably sell it. I
want to interact with people, but if I'm still single, I won't have the opportunity to join one. They're
recruiting for hobby clubs.
But there are so many young people that I feel like I'm the only one who stands out. I tried going to a reading session at the library, but I'm not good at talking to people, so I just went home without saying anything.
I volunteer once a month. It's surprisingly fun to interact with people my age. When I was young, I thought it was easy being alone. But that was only true when I was healthy. Is the
ending sound written? It's half finished and still on my desk. Honestly, I feel like there's no point in writing about it. I haven't
watched any TV lately. I just laze around at home doing nothing.
I watch reruns of old detective dramas and travel shows. The latest ones are so depressing and aimed at young people that it feels like they're trying too hard to laugh, which makes it hard for me to watch. Lately, I've started to enjoy taking walks around the neighborhood. Just seeing unfamiliar flowers blooming is a little soothing.
I've gotten into the habit of reading books at the library. Being in a quiet space calms my mind.
Ultimately, It all comes down to how you spend your time alone. I feel like that's what determines how you age. My eyes have been blurry lately and it's hard to read the newspaper. I think I'm really starting to get presbyopia.
My vision balance between my left and right eyes gets messed up in the evening. Does anyone have a Hazuki magnifier? I do, but honestly, it's not worth the price. I was fine with reading glasses from a 100 yen shop.
Hazuki magnifiers are the ones that celebrities were in commercials for, right? They said it wouldn't break if you stepped on it, but I just put it on the table, so I probably won't step on it. Also, the part that goes over your ear is hard, so if you use it for a long time, your ears will hurt.
I only read the newspaper, so it doesn't bother me since it only takes 3 minutes.
For detailed work like computer work, the 100 yen ones were lighter and easier. The letters are hard to see, so I've given up on reading them recently. I sometimes give up on changing line messages because the letters are too small. I also hide my smartphone by adjusting the font size. Is that even possible? Everyone else at work, except for the smartphones of people my age, hides them with letters. When I was young, I had a lot of things I wanted to do, but now I'm happy if I can have a quiet morning with a cup of coffee. Maybe that's why I'm so calm. The other day, there was a TV special on brain consciousness, and they said that the early symptoms of dementia are hard to notice. It's good if
there's someone around, but it's hard to notice if you're alone. If you keep asking the same thing over and over again, or if you keep forgetting things, you should probably go to the hospital.
When you get dementia, the first thing that goes wrong is your money management. My family gave him 200,000 yen for newspaper collection and then took him to the hospital.
Lately I've been on the verge of throwing away important mail without reading it. It gives me the creeps when I realize it. Even when I'm careful, I sometimes feel like my head just slips out of my head when I see a cover.
But strangely enough, memories tend to be clearer from the past. I remember things like elementary school field trips, but I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. I
ran into a classmate in the neighborhood. We both laughed because our faces had changed so much. We're going out for drinks and looking back on memories from back then. The
last time I went out for drinks with someone might have been over 5 years ago. Year-end parties used to be a pain, but now I'm grateful just to be invited. It's true that the saying, the best time to be invited is when you're ready, comes true. The
refrigerator has been getting noisy lately. Is it reaching the end of its life? The
electricity bill for old appliances really goes up. We replaced our air conditioner last year. It cost 60,000 yen per unit, but it's so comfortable.
I don't have an air conditioner and use a fan, but in the summer it's almost life-threatening. When you
get to our age, you could easily get heat stroke and the medical expenses if you collapse wouldn't be cheap, so you should at least buy an air conditioner. I recently had a bleary eye and was told it was the early stages of cataract.
I was told the same thing during a checkup, but they said to just wait and see since it's progressing slowly. I'm scared to drive anymore, so I've changed my license. I've
really lost my appetite lately. Sometimes even instant noodles are a hassle. Sometimes
I don't even have the energy to go out for anything other than groceries. I
just have coffee in the morning. I only eat properly once a day.
Lately, I've been buying only frozen foods. If I don't have anyone to eat with, eating just feels like a chore. I've
been shopping online a lot lately and my stuff is piling up. I end up accumulating things that I buy but don't end up using. Does everyone else declutter? I'm
trying to declutter, but I always end up throwing them away, especially old letters.
The other day, I found an old graduation album in the closet and it made me sad for no reason.
Lately, when I spend time at home, I start to cry for some reason. The change of seasons really hits me hard. Sometimes I feel like crying just from the outside air.
I get depressed easily when the weather is too nice.
Daytime on a holiday is when I feel the most alone. Just hearing a child's voice in the distance makes me want to cry.
The other day I went to the hospital for the first time in a while and they had increased my medication to 5 different types. I can't keep track at this age.
Managing medication is too much of a hassle. I forget to take it and don't know when to take it next. I
have a medication notebook but I don't look at it. When I'm alone I just get careless. My medication increases every time I go to the hospital. And the pharmacy charges me a lot. 100 yen pill cases are convenient. You can separate them so you almost never forget to take them.
Government documents are also hard to understand. The kanji are so small that I don't feel like reading them.
I made a mistake on my tax return because of this and got contacted later. I wonder if documents like that can't be written in a way that anyone can understand. My sense of time is also getting messed up. I've been yelled at by my neighbors for typing late at night. My memory has been really bad lately, and I can't even remember where I put my wallet. I also look for where I put my smartphone about 3 times a day.
I feel like my brain capacity has decreased because of my boyfriend. I also find myself looking in strange places and getting confused.
I feel like my sleep has gotten shallower lately. I wake up many times in the middle of the night. I wake up in the early morning and can't fall back asleep, so I end up playing with my smartphone.
I stay up before my alarm goes off, but I still don't feel refreshed. I get sleepy during the day and try to type, but I can't fall asleep at night. It's a vicious cycle. I get paid for alcohol, but I'm afraid I'll become addicted. I
started relying on alcohol, but I feel sluggish in the morning and regret it. My
body's ability to recover has dropped dramatically since I turned 50. If I stay up late, it affects me for 2 days. Unlike when I was younger, it's no longer as simple as just sleeping.
Lately, I've been feeling even lonelier on Sunday evenings. There are times when I want to talk to someone for free, but the reality is that there's no one around. I leave the TV on and just use the sound to distract myself.
I've been talking to myself more and more lately. I find myself unconsciously mumbling to myself while watching TV.
I even found myself saying thank you to the air conditioner. I thought this was really bad. I
want to travel, but I'm not saying I want to die because I have to take care of my mother.
Yeah, we have a visiting caregiver come 3 times a day. As long as I have food, I can go out for the day. I go to a daycare service once a week, but I have a feeling it's going to get even harder from now on. I'm not senile, but my legs are getting really weak.
If I'm not senile, it's better, but nursing care insurance is designed for elderly people like that.
Dementia is the scariest disease of all. If I
get dementia, I'd be better off dead. I don't have a personality anymore, and I'm just living my life being a nuisance. If I'm single, there's no one to take care of me. I really want them to create a system to prevent dementia. On top of that, if I take care of my health for a long time, I might develop dementia. I
don't want to live like that for too long. I want to keep drinking, so I'm taking a break from work, but I think I'll drink every day. I quit smoking, but I'm thinking of starting again.
But I read somewhere that the average life expectancy for an unmarried person is in their 60s or something.
Maybe less than 10 years left.
Until recently, I felt like my grandparents and grandparents would always be in this world. Now that they're all gone, it's my turn to go to their graves. I want to enjoy the rest of my life.
I think the median average life expectancy for my family is 67. That's why unmarried men are less likely to get cancer. Cancer is caused by the deterioration of cells, so men with cancer often die of other causes. A
single senior colleague at work was 68 years old and became lonely. Life is
precious for men. Well, I guess you have to think that if you live to 70, it's all over. If you can't make a decision in the early stages of dementia, it's too late. It would be great if you could recognize it yourself when you're starting to develop dementia and voluntarily go to a nursing home. It'll
be difficult if you don't at least visit and make a provisional reservation before you go crazy. Another option is a facility that doesn't require a guarantor. Even if a guarantor is not required, you will probably need to sign a contract with a company that will handle the procedures for the death benefit. I need to prepare various things. I will go and see it this week. But I'm sure my parents never imagined that their healthy, working son would be a disabled single man. It's
not an unusual story these days.
But until the 780s, only about 5% of men were disabled and single. So it was a time when people could get married unless their circumstances were extremely bad. Only a
fool who doesn't think about anything would be able to marry someone they loved when they were young and had nothing to do. Marriage, huh? It's just that the people around him are noisy, but the samurai don't really care. On the contrary, only naive young people can get married. There's a famous saying that says that once you have learned to understand things, you can't get married. So once you have learned to understand, it's already too late.
There are times when I feel lonely and anxious and overwhelmed, but it's a relief to have a place like this where people like me can gather and talk.
I'll come and take a look again. It makes me feel like I can keep going tomorrow.
How much pension do people in their 60s receive? Please tell me the real amount. I
applied for a pension when I was 65. I decided not to postpone it because it would be about 178,000 yen per month. The reason is that I got sick in April.
I was planning to start receiving benefits at 66, but I learned that if I postponed it, I wouldn't be able to receive the pension. I have to be careful about postponing it. The pension is a big deal because it can be paid even if your wife is younger, depending on the conditions. In my case, I'm 68 and my wife is 54. I'll be the only one receiving it for a while yet. The pension is a pension that non-insured people who have children or spouses who are no longer required by the employees' pension insurance can receive when they reach 65, with the old age employee pension amount increased. If you have no longer required family members, it is paid in addition to the regular old age pension, so it can be used to supplement living expenses when you reach retirement age and your income decreases. You cannot receive it unless you have been enrolled in the pension for 20 years or more. I have been receiving it since I was 65, but it is 230,000 yen. To be honest, it is too little to live on. The only saving grace is that my wife works part-time 2 days a week and earns about 100,000 yen. My husband and I spend 240,000 yen a month, but we don't have any loans, so we can manage. The only thing that hurts is that food and electric bills are gradually increasing. I'm
single, but my pension only gives me 60,000 yen a month. I also have 300,000 yen in debt, so I'm considering welfare. I'm reluctant to go on welfare, but in this day and age, it's an option. It's better than working hard for medical expenses though. I'm
68 years old and have a pension of 380,000 yen. This includes my company pension and 401. But I also have a salary income of 250,000 yen, so I'm not short of money at the moment. A 401 is a type of retirement benefit system that companies set aside for their employees. Teachers can also make additional contributions and save, and the employees themselves manage the savings. You're a winner. My pension is 130,000 yen, my senior salary is 160,000 yen, and my company pension is 40,000 yen, so that's 330,000 yen a month. That's still pretty high, isn't it? I'm the senior, and my annual income is 5 million yen, but my pension is 2.1 million yen divided by 12, which is 170,000 yen a month, so that's around 600,000 yen a month. It makes a
huge difference whether you pay rent or not. It's easy if you own a house in the Kansai region, but if you're paying 80,000 yen a month in rent, even a pension of 200,000 yen won't be enough.
Expenses in your 60s vary from person to person. My wife and I can get by on 180,000 to 200,000 yen a month. We own a house, don't have a car, and we keep our food expenses low. I'm
67 and a single person, but my company pension and stock dividends combined make up about 380,000 yen a month. Even so, I feel anxious every month.
Pensions are also important for psychological security. In fact, it's often said that you need 20 million yen for old people, but you should calculate it based on your own standard of living. After the age of 70, your body doesn't move as much and there are fewer ways to spend money. Traveling and driving are no longer an option, so all you do is watch TV, drink shochu, and sleep. My pension check for this month arrived. It's about 420,000 yen for 2 months, and a little less than 380,000 yen after tax. My wife's share hasn't been reflected yet. My wife starts receiving her pension next month, so my monthly income will be 290,000 yen for my wife and I get 500,000 yen a year in stock dividends, so I should be able to get by somehow.
Whether or not I can make a surplus with my pension is a big deal for me mentally. If I'm in the red, my assets will be depleted, so I won't have much to spare.
I make about 250,000 yen a month after tax, but I end up in the red about 12 times a year due to unexpected expenses like house repairs. I make up for that with savings. Apparently, the retirement rate for people over 65 is over 25%. The reality is that everyone has to work to make ends meet. I went to the
pension office the other day and my estimated monthly pension was 90,000 yen. I couldn't help but look surprised, but they told me that some people make 40,000 yen a month. I
could defer it and increase it, but I also have to consider my physical strength and health. It's difficult when it comes to being able to work until I'm 70. My father wanted to work until he was 86, but I don't think I can be that patient. That's why I'm worried that I won't be able to make a profit even if I defer it. My mother is over 90, but I'm not very healthy, so I'm just worried. I plan to take what I can get from age 65. By the way, while I'm working, my pension will be cut, but apparently my pension amount will increase accordingly. It seems that the system will change in the future due to system reforms. I applied when I was 65, but it's about 130,000 yen a month. My wife's share is not there yet. Does 130,000 yen mean a high pension? I only have the national pension, so it's a little less than 60,000 yen. Honestly, I can't live on that. I'm
67 years old, and when combined with my company pension, I get about 380,000 yen a month. I work part-time, so I get an additional 250,000 yen. I plan to work while I can.
380,000 yen a month is quite a win. I'm barely making ends meet on 130,000 yen a month. I would have saved up even without the company pension if I couldn't get any more.
Housing really is a big deal. I heard that even a pension of 200,000 yen is tough if you live in a rental property. My husband and I make 240,000 yen a month, and my son contributes 50,000 yen a month, and my wife earns about 100,000 yen a month working part-time. Honestly, I feel like I can somehow get by on this. I'm expected to get 290,000 yen a month for my husband and I with the national pension, but prices have been rising so much that I don't feel like I have much money to spare. Saving money
on living expenses is essential. My smartphone is cheap, and I've reduced my food expenses to cooking at home and drinking to 1 bottle a week.
My annual income from pension and salary combined is 5.2 million yen, and my financial assets are 40 million yen, but I can't let my guard down because if either of them collapses, I'll have to save up. I started receiving my full pension at 65, but the amount that was actually deposited was less than I expected. A lot of money is being deducted for taxes and insurance. That's a bit of a shock. The
notification says 200,000 yen a month, but my take-home pay is just over 170,000 yen. And with prices rising, 10,000 yen can be lost in an instant just on supermarket shopping. I
think only a small number of people can live on their pension alone. It's difficult unless you have a company pension or stock dividends.
I can barely get by because I can supplement my monthly income by about 60,000 yen with my company pension and dividends.
How much financial assets do I need? I have about 20 million yen, but it's hard to watch them decrease. My goal was 30 million yen, but even that's not enough to feel secure. The long-term risks are too scary. On the other hand, some people say that people over 70 don't have the energy to spend money and don't need it that much. Well, I guess it depends on the person.
Every time I look at my pension newsletter, I can really see the difference in how I worked in the past. If you're a company employee and you're saving for self-defense, you're making a living. If your pension is low because of the amount of self-defense, I think the minimum requirements are to own a house and have no debt. Otherwise, it's just too tough. I've been receiving benefits since I was 65. And my pension and company pension combined make 275,000 yen a month. I also get 40,000 yen a month in dividends from stocks, so the total is just over 310,000 yen a month. That's amazing. That's almost unpopular. I'm
64 now, and even with a company pension of 40,000 yen and a minimum salary of 200,000 yen, I don't have enough money for food. I've been living on the premise that I'll have to scrape by. My husband and I make about 300,000 yen a month, but because prices are rising, our savings are decreasing more than I thought. My
electricity bill has gone up a lot recently. I used to not care about air conditioning, but now I'm very nervous about setting the temperature.
But if you skimp on your electricity bill and get heat stroke, you'll end up paying for it all in medical expenses. I want the government to pay for medical expenses as much as possible.
By the way, you guys are postponing it. If you wait until you're 70, you'll get more. But if you die in the meantime, you won't get your money back, so I'm scared.
I've decided to wait until 65. I'm not confident I'll live to 70, and the hospital is doing well, so I don't know what will happen.
Similarly, the idea of getting a higher pension is attractive, but I feel like it will mean less free time. My
wife was a full-time employee for a long time, so we earn about 400,000 yen a month combined. I wonder why I'm still worried about the future. I think the main reasons for my anxiety are the cost of living and medical expenses.
Also, when you think about nursing homes, there are things like an initial entrance fee of 300,000 yen a month. I went to look at nursing homes last month, but I almost fainted when I saw that the decent ones had an initial fee of 5 million yen. I
closed the store after just looking at the pamphlet. I think owning a house is the best option after all. I'm considering renovating my current house.
But I've been living in a house that's been on the ground for 40 years, and it's tough. I was told that it would easily cost 3 million yen to replace the entire bath and kitchen. We
moved to an apartment. There are no steps and it's easy to clean. It really helps when you're over 70. Barrier-free.
Access is important. It was the right decision to put a handrail on the stairs when I almost fell the other day.
How was everyone's retirement? I was surprised that the value of my company stock was higher than my retirement. My company was a large company, so I only got a retirement allowance, but I was only a department manager, so I
probably used to get more, but I was in a small company and got a little over 3 million yen. There was a time when the company was in trouble, so I was grateful to get any, but since I was self-employed, it was zero. Instead, I get 1 million yen a year in rental income, and my pension is just an
example, but it's manageable. People who
get rental income are the best. These days, you can't
get by in old age without managing your assets. I also invest in stocks, and I'm grateful that I get 40,000 yen a month in dividends alone. But I get anxious when I fall asleep.
Investing is mentally demanding.
Unlike a pension, it fluctuates, so I realize that it won't be the main source of income for old people. That's why pensions are so helpful. The peace of mind that comes with a guaranteed payment every 2 months. It's worth buying. I was supposed to receive the full amount next month with the regular payment plan, which would be 245,000 yen a month, but I'm both excited and scared to see how much my take-home pay will be. It'll probably be reduced by about 20% due to taxes and insurance. If I have 200,000 left over, that'll be good. But it's still more than enough.
I quit my job at 60, but I have about 300,000 yen a month from my company pension and stock dividends, so I turned down the minimum employment offer.
My family works 4 full-time jobs. My annual income is about 4 million yen, but my pension will be cut, so to be honest, I feel a little uneasy. I
turned down the offer because it felt ridiculous to have the responsibility of having a minimum employment offer, even though my salary is less than half. It would have been easier mentally to quit and receive unemployment benefits. My unemployment benefits alone exceed 1 million yen. I've been
unemployed since I retired at 60, but I've been surviving on my company pension and stock dividends, and I only do the occasional part-time job. I'd be too bored if I didn't work. Even if I wake up at 5 a.m., I don't know what to do with cleaning, cooking, and laundry. That's why I started Home Vegetable N. I grow cherry tomatoes and herbs on the balcony. It's surprisingly fun and the food costs are high. I've
started fishing. It doesn't cost much and is good for your health. It's hard on your back though.
In the end, health comes first. If medical expenses add up, your life will seriously fall apart. Medical insurance and cancer insurance are essential. Many people start receiving a pension when they go to bed at 70. I've heard of someone who deferred it and ended up paying over 3.5 million yen a year. But on the other
hand, taxes and insurance premiums take a huge chunk out of it. If you convert it to take-home pay, it might be around 220,000 yen. Even then, you can live on it if you're single.
But when you think about nursing care, living alone makes you feel anxious. My wife needs nursing care and only has a retirement pension of 930,000 yen. But I'm somehow able to provide home care with my company pension and public pension. Isn't home care hard?
Why don't you consider a facility? It usually
costs 300,000 yen a month. Pension alone is nowhere near enough, and in the end, your extra savings will be your lifeline.
Regular pension payments are sobering. I was shocked when I found out that I wouldn't be able to get 200,000 yen a month. Is annual income really that important when you're young?
My average was around 6 million yen, so I was able to get a decent amount of high pension. I've changed jobs a lot, so my income is inconsistent. The number of months I'm covered by the employees' pension insurance is small. So even now, the national pension is dragging me down. Still, it's better to have something to live with. My family moved to Kansai and managed to get by on the inheritance after my mother passed away. Our
apartment management fees and repair reserves exceed 50,000 yen a month. This puts pressure on our pension. A
house is an asset at first, but maintaining it is like a body blow. I can understand why renting is more affordable.
But isn't it almost a crime to rent with a monthly pension of 130,000 yen? In Tokyo, the rent alone would be enough to cover it. An
acquaintance of mine lives in an apartment without a bath. Isn't it tough not to have a bath? The rent is 30,000 yen, and we use the bath at a nearby family home. I
wonder if it's true that people who say they can live comfortably on their pension alone are making it. Most of them probably own their own homes and have no debt. Also,
many people don't spend money on hobbies. If you don't eat out, travel, or just browse the internet, you can get by on 150,000 yen a year.
Conversely, you're just getting by. If you don't have anything to look forward to, I don't know what the point of receiving a pension is.
That may be true. I'm going to start saving money now so I can enjoy myself for another 10 years. My wife will start receiving her pension next year, so we'll both have 290,000 yen. Life will finally get easier. My wife worked, so our pension is decent. That alone makes me feel more secure as an elderly person. If I were a housewife living under occupation, my anxiety would double.
When I was on the special branch allowance, I was making 110,000 yen a month, but after I turned 65, I started receiving the full allowance, which increased to 240,000 yen. I also get 50,000 yen a month from my company, so I feel like I've finally become average. I'll be 65 this year, and even if I get a 10,000 yen pension, it'll probably be around 180,000 yen a month. I'm also planning to continue working, so I think my monthly take-home pay will be around 400,000 yen. My wife's
pension is about 120,000 yen. Together, we get 300,000 yen a month. We own our own house and don't have a car, so we're not struggling to make ends meet. But I don't know what the future holds. I've already
paid off my condo loan. I'm managing to get by with my pension and dividends, but the management fees and repair reserves are rising and it's getting tough. I think nursing
care will be the real deal from now on. A nursing home costs 300,000 yen a month, and it's not an amount that can be covered by my pension alone.
Medical expenses are also scary. If I get cancer, my finances will collapse in an instant.
I have bedside medical insurance and a pension, but I plan to get paid by the time I'm 70. I'm honestly scared when I hear that there are some drugs that aren't covered by insurance.
I don't like the trend of postponing pension payments or getting them early because it's a waste. Living itself is like a gamble.
I like that idea. I'm 65 now and receiving my pension normally, but I plan to work until I'm 70, so my pension is just enough to cover the bare minimum of living expenses. I'm 65 and have 133,000 yen, and my personal pension of 1 million yen will finally reach the living standard in 10 years. The problem is after 70. Preparing for after 70. I'm thinking about it too. I think that the only way to maintain health is to have a pension while sleeping and receive stock dividends.
If you live a long life, you'll need money later. I feel like people who say things like that aren't looking at reality. Did you know that there is a lower grade pension for those who are younger? I stopped postponing it and started receiving it at 65. I was worried when I was told that I wouldn't be able to receive a higher grade pension. My husband and I spend about 250,000 yen a month.
When I switched to a light car, gas and insurance became cheaper. The vehicle inspection fee has also been reduced a little, which is a relief. I
only drive once a week, but the parking fee is over 10,000 yen a month, which is a bit painful. I'm thinking about going back to car sharing soon. Car sharing is a service where registered members share cars that are parked in a predetermined location for short periods of time. It is convenient when you want to use a car for a short time, and it is easier to use than a rental car. The monthly fee for a company is 8,000 yen, and there are also 5,000 yen. Even if you don't have a passport, you will still have to pay 5,000 yen a month just for the deer. Even if you use health insurance, it has a subtle impact. I try to keep my supermarket shopping to under 3,000 yen per trip, but if I go 20 times a month, that alone will cost me 30,000 yen. If you include daily necessities, it will quickly exceed 50,000 yen. I
buy meat and fish at a wholesale supermarket and freeze them separately. That alone saves me about 10,000 yen a month. The amount of
money I spend on hobbies varies from person to person, but for me, photography and acting are about 5,000 yen a month, and that is enough to keep me mentally sane. On the other hand, my friend has no hobbies and lives on 100,000 yen a month, but he seems bored every day.
Saving too much can make you lonely.
I am not struggling to make ends meet, but my insurance premiums are surprisingly high. I pay 9,000 yen a month for life insurance with the prefectural government. I have
stopped using life insurance. I feel relieved now that my children are independent and I don't need it anymore. I saved 8,000 yen a month.
I recently stopped buying all the magazines I used to buy regularly. I have enough information online, and even saving 2,000 yen makes a difference. I saved 10,000 yen a month when I stopped drinking. It was tough at first, but once I got used to it, I stopped eating out and my health and wallet improved. Eating out is really expensive. Even a set meal costs 3,000 yen for two. When I used to go out once a week, it cost me 12,000 yen a month. Now I buy slightly more expensive decoration materials at the supermarket once a month and treat myself. I'm satisfied with that. People who have already paid off their mortgage are lucky. I'll continue paying 80,000 yen a month until I'm 70. The low interest rate is a relief though.
Even if you own your own home, you have to renovate the base. The other day, a professional quick drying machine broke and cost me 200,000 yen. The
electric base hasn't gotten any more expensive. It was about 3,000 yen more than the same month last year. I guess it depends on how you use the air conditioner. But old people are sensitive to the cold and heat.
In the winter, I get by with an electric blanket and a kotatsu. In the summer, go to bed early and avoid using the air conditioner as much as possible.
There's a limit to how much you can save like that. If you let your guard down, you'll get heat stroke, and if you end up breaking your body, it'll end up costing you more. As you get older, it's more of a loss to be stingy and break your body. That's why you need to have some leeway. Another thing we tend to forget is avoiding sai and nagachi. Even if it's only a few times a year, losing 230,000 yen in one go is painful. There are many things to complain about with the pension system, but for us, it's the pillar that keeps us alive until the end. Even if our savings run out, our pension will continue to come until the end. I've come to think that just that fact is enough to be grateful for. So, we want to keep
that pillar going as much as possible. Let's be on the side that laughs at old people. Thank you for
watching until the end. How much is your pension? Please let me know in the comments. This channel will continue to introduce useful information for seniors. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up.